Hi, my name is Mike Flanagan, and I have the pleasure of serving as a National Academic Advisor for Renaissance Learning. So we always begin with our mission, which is to accelerate learning for all children and adults of all ability levels and ethnic and social backgrounds worldwide. Now we're going to go into Freckle Live here in just a minute, but I just wanted to outline briefly what it is. So Freckle is a tool that can truly differentiate practice and instruction for all students regardless of ability levels. And so really what this means is it's got a variety of applications from independent practice at a student's level to targeted work, maybe with groups or with individual students. Of course, we can use it for just-in-time acceleration in a variety of different applications, all the way to homework that will help support your core curriculum. So Freckle is not really meant to be a substitution for any curriculum or any other tool. It's used in conjunction to be able to deliver the content at the just right time for every single student. So here's how it works. It's going to use the results from the REN 360 assessment tool to automatically place students into a pathway. That pathway will adapt as students get answers correct or need scaffolded supports, ultimately maybe not yet mastering that material and needing to be bumped to another level. Now, a lot of tools out there in the market are going to use a placement to put students into a pathway that then keeps them there forever and ever and ever until they complete that unit, so to speak. And that's not the way the Freckle behaves. We're going to use that REN 360 assessment to initially place the students, and then it will adapt as they move along as we learn more about their proficiency within and among domains and TEKS. Therefore, they're going to be having that standards aligned practice based on the TEKS, and then we can see some great reporting based on proficiency and disposition, which is essentially going to be how much time they were in the system. Now, what's important is that we have foster engagement. And how can we foster engagement if this is a one-size-fits-all? We just can't. So we make sure that it's a personalized experience at the K2 band as the 3-5 band, and then a much more mature experience for grades 6 and above, so that engagement isn't an issue. Speaking of engagement, when they're in Freckle, there are two ways to be engaged. The first is that placement into their individual pathway. This is the pathway that's going to adapt as they go along, continuing to learn everything about the student as they roll through the domains and even focus on the same exact focus skills that are already in the REN 360 assessment software. Or teachers can choose to target particular assignments. And these targeted assignments are going to be based on the TEKS. Go through, search for the TEK, search for the focus skills within the TEKS, assign that material to the student or to the group or to the whole class, and they should complete that work before they go back into their adaptive pathway. In fact, the teacher can even choose to make sure that they complete that work before they go back into their adaptive pathway. But what is this all worth if we don't get the data that's going to be actionable? So we're going to really give you a number of key reports, both at the teacher level and of course at the administrative level, to make some decisions. Now, again, I can't underscore enough that we have to be more efficient in order to be more effective, especially now after 2 years of a global pandemic. So what we're going to include automatically is this ability to search by the focus skills. Those are the skills that are the most interconnected, or the prerequisites to the prerequisites, and those skills come straight from the REN 360 assessment. So when the teachers identify what skills the students are ready to learn next, ABC, they can go into Freckle and automatically assign those to students by searching by the TEK. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So very, very brief overview here of what this looks like for teacher. Of course, this would take much more time, and we'd love to show you this in demo mode down the road, but teachers would be hovering over what's called an activity feed here, which is going to show scores by proficiency and also by disposition, which would be the time practice. Now, this is very drillable, so the teacher can just simply click on the caret, and it's going to show every single assignment, both adaptive and targeted, and drilling down all the way into the exact answers the student is giving Freckle, thus allowing for great conversations down the road. Now, I really wanted to show you how you target specific TEKS and assignments for students. So let's go into math here. And within math, by the way, for targeted and adaptive, there are printables for everything. So this gives the teachers the great ability, if there's going to be an internet connectivity issue or otherwise, to be able to generate a printable for that. We're not going to do that today, though. we're going to go in by standard, and we are going to search for, let's say, 5th grade, and let's say it's a 7th grade student needing a tier 2 intervention, and that student is in 5th grade, which, by the way, this can be used for any level of RTI or MTSS. It could be used for tier 0, which is core instruction, tier 1, where we're modifying some things, a more intense tier 2 intervention, or of course a very intense tier 3 intervention that we then want to go back into the progress monitoring tool in REN 360 and measure later. But let's say this student is a 7th grader and they're really working at the 5th grade level as identified by the REN 360. We can go in, we can show only the focus skills. We see these are all skills that the students are ready to learn next. And so then clicking on that, we can go in and assign some targeted practice to the student or students. So we can select one or more all the way up to all students, including the ability to see students who are not native English speakers, still learning language, or maybe be biliterate or dual language by nature, selecting the TEKS, the focus skills, and then we get to design this assignment either by mini ticket, 3 questions, or a 5 question, or a 10 question. We can go through, we can see the assignment, we can change it up, and then we can actually use the adaptive pathway information to be able to provide support settings, meaning students that have not yet met this level of targeted assignment in their own individual adaptive pathway will automatically receive a support scaffolded video upon getting this assignment, or we can turn that support on for all students or negate it at that point, assign this immediately or down the road, which will then show up not only on our assignment page as an assignment that we can drill down information about, but also on the student side. Now, of course, there are a couple different ways to do the same thing. So maybe we don't want to search by standard, maybe we want to search by domain. We can certainly do that, or we can also search by standard or skill within a high school course, or we can allow students to focus skill practice specifically, even all the way down to the very basics within math and all the way up to DOK and IBL challenges. So again, this is the 30,000 foot overview, but really what I'd like